There's something very special about sunsets. They can be peaceful and dramatic, and as you'll soon discover, sometimes even a little emotional. So it's no surprise that painters through the centuries have been obsessed with capturing that perfect moment before the sun goes down. Whether it's the glow reflecting off the sea or the last bit of sun behind the mountains, artists have found endless ways to paint that feeling. Then again, a sunset can turn an ordinary landscape into something incredibly magical. Let's check out 10 amazing sunset paintings, and after seeing all the works in this list, you might just find yourself looking at your next sunset a little differently. Number 1. The Fighting Téméraire by John William Mallord Turner. Let's start things off with one of the most iconic British paintings ever created, Turner's The Fighting Téméraire. Completed in 1839, it shows an old warship being pulled up the river by a small steam-powered tugboat, with a glowing sunset setting the whole scene on fire. This isn't just any ship, by the way, it was a veteran of the Battle of Trafalgar, once one of the Royal Navy's proudest vessels. Now it's being towed off to be broken up for scrap, and the painter turns this into something deeply emotional. The sunset with its golden hues and fading light perfectly reflects that feeling of saying goodbye to an era. What makes this painting even more fascinating is that Turner was so attached to this painting that he never sold it, keeping it for himself until he passed away. Number 2. Twilight in the Wilderness by Frederic Edwin Church. Next up is a fiery American landscape painted in 1860, just before the Civil War broke out. Church was known for painting dramatic skies, and Twilight in the Wilderness might be one of his most powerful examples. The top half of the canvas is completely taken over by a wild red-orange sky, while the bottom half shows a quiet, untouched forest. Some art historians believe Church was hinting at the conflict to come, showing the land at peace under a sky full of tension. Even if you don't read it that way, it's hard to deny how intense and emotional that sky feels. Church didn't just paint what he saw, he traveled to places like South America and the Arctic to study how light and atmosphere actually work. Number 3. Sunset Brothers by Caspar David Friedrich. This next one is a lot more intimate. Sunset Brothers shows two figures standing by the sea, staring quietly into the distance as the light fades. We don't know much about them. Some say they are brothers, others think they might represent life and death, but the mystery is part of what makes it interesting. Friedrich was a master of mood, and here he uses soft color and gentle sky to create a scene that feels peaceful but also a little sad. The sunset doesn't overwhelm the canvas, it just gently closes the day. One thing to know about Friedrich is that he often painted from memory, using real landscapes as a base but altering them to fit the feeling he wanted to create. Number 4. Sunset in the Yosemite Valley by Albert Bierstadt. This painting by Bierstadt is like a postcard from paradise. Painted in the late 1860s, it shows the Yosemite Valley lit up by the last light of day, with huge cliffs glowing gold and a river cutting through the middle. Bierstadt was part of the Hudson River School, a group of painters who believed that nature had a kind of spiritual power, and this scene captures this perfectly. It's peaceful, sure, but also kind of overwhelming in its beauty. And here's a fun detail. Bierstadt actually traveled with US survey teams into the American West to get a first-hand look at places like this. Number 5. The Angulus by Jean-François Millet. The Angulus is a quiet painting with a surprising amount of emotion packed into it. It shows two peasants pausing in a field at sunset, heads bowed in prayer. There's no dramatic sky or grand mountain view, just soft fading light and a feeling of calm. Millet was all about showing the dignity of rural life, and this painting is one of his best examples of that. The sunset here isn't the main focus, it's just part of the mood, part of the everyday rhythm of work and rest. And here's the twist. When it was first exhibited, people thought it was a funeral scene because it felt so solemn. Number 6. The Red Vineyard by Vincent van Gogh. Van Gogh's The Red Vineyard is a riot of color, painted in bold strokes of red, orange and gold. It shows workers harvesting grapes as the sun dips low in the background and everything seems to glow. The figures are almost lost in the scene, like they're being swallowed by the light. Van Gogh didn't care much about realism, he was more interested in emotion, and this painting feels like it's buzzing with life. The scene was inspired by the countryside near Arles, where he lived for a while and where he painted some of his most famous works. What's interesting is that this is the only painting Van Gogh ever sold while he was alive. Number 7. The Ninth Wave by Ivan Aivazovsky. Aivazovsky's The Ninth Wave is one of the most dramatic paintings in this list, and not just because of the giant waves. It depicts shipwreck survivors clinging to debris as the sun sets behind them, casting the sea in a strange, almost glowing pink. The Ninth Wave was a legend among sailors. It was said to be the biggest and most dangerous wave of a storm. But in this painting, the storm has passed and the light suggests that there's still hope. Aivazovsky painted thousands of seascapes, but this one stands out for its mix of beauty and fear. And here's a fun fact, he painted most of his seascapes from memory, he just knew the ocean that well. Number 8. San Giorgio Maggiore by Claude Monet. This is one of Monet's Venice paintings, and it's a great example of what he was trying to do late in his life. The church of San Giorgio Maggiore is shown in silhouette, with soft colors blending sky and water into one glowing surface. There's no clear line between the sunset and the sea, it all just melts together. Monet painted the same scene at different times of day, trying to capture how light changed everything. What he ended up with was something that feels more like a memory than a painting. And just so you know, he painted over 30 views of Venice during his time there. Number 9. Sunset by Camille Pissarro. Pissarro's sunset is a lot quieter than most of the others on this list. It shows a simple rural scene with a golden sky above and soft light touching the landscape. There's no drama, just a peaceful end to the day. Pissarro was great at capturing those everyday moments that most people would walk right past. This means that his main strength was in finding beauty in the ordinary. It's pretty easy to understand why he was seen as a mentor by a whole generation of younger artists. Number 10. The Sun by Edvard Munch. And finally, we have a sunset that's more like an explosion of energy. The Sun by Edvard Munch fills the entire canvas with light. The sun is dead center and its rays stretch out in every direction. Munch is usually known for darker, more emotional works, but this one feels like a celebration of life. It's bold, bright, and full of movement, like the world is waking up instead of winding down. The sea sparkles below, and you can almost feel the warmth. Munch painted this for a university auditorium in Oslo, where it still lights up the room like very few sunset paintings could today.